Hello everyone, I'm Muth, the film guy. Don't believe it? Look it up. And well, because I am done reviewing the King Kong movies, I might as well do a review on its sequel of King Kong vs. Godzilla, the next in the series of Godzilla movies, awfully known as Mothra vs. Godzilla. But when it came to America, it was called Godzilla vs. the Thing. I don't know, but we'll get to that later on. But for now, let's go ahead and review the movie. So, the movie begins with a company basically pulling out water from a place that they were trying to excavate and become a form of, I believe, park or something like that, maybe a building or something. And they're just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna basically pull out the water and we're gonna basically dry it all out. And of course we follow two reporters, one female photographer and the other a reporter. And the reporter, played by Akira Takarada, if you remember, was in the first Godzilla movie, and I think he actually thanks a lot for Godzilla because, I mean, think about it, that's what made his career. Hey, you can't go wrong with that. And so they find this weird looking thing in the water. It shines bluish green. It's weird. Now, there are a few theories on this thing, but I'll get to that later on. And then later on, they find an egg. Someone finds an egg out in water. It's a giant freaking egg. So the fisherman basically brings it in and they sell it to a man named crap, I forgot their name. From a businessman to become, and the further company, Happy Enterprises, who's run by a schemy politician. Ooh, yeah, it's that sort of thing. And when all this happens, they build a whole entire shell around the egg and basically try to hatch the egg by using heat, or they're trying to cook it. I don't know. Either way, it's just a weird way to get a thing open. So it turns out that the thing that they found was actually radioactive. Now to the theories. There's a theory that the thing that was shiny and radioactive is actually a piece of Godzilla's skin. But there's not enough evidence to support that because it's not exactly the same. I don't know. It's not the exact same scale, or if you know the color of Godzilla, it's not the same color. And Godzilla's doesn't sparkle. I mean, sure, he breathes atomic fire onto people, but he doesn't sparkle. If you know what I mean. And so it turns out Godzilla was underneath the ground. Again, here's a whole bunch of theories on why Godzilla's underground. Like, either King Kong punched Godzilla so hard that he literally went into the ground and stayed down there for until this movie, or he probably was in the typhoon that was going on, and basically buried him over with dirt. Either he was very unconscious from King Kong's punches, or whatever, you know. Whatever gets the movie going, Godzilla's in it. And well, it's an amazing effect, I have to admit. Haruo Nakajima had to be underground for this scene, as in they had to bury him alive in order to get him to come out of the ground. The tail coming up just makes it even more impressive when the theme of Godzilla is just, it just plays. It's wonderful. And just the rest of his body coming off and him shaking it off, it makes a really good effect. And so Godzilla basically attacks Nagoya and basically kind of collides with Nagoya Castle, I believe. Nagoya Castle, Nagomi, I think it's something, castle. And here's an actual fact about the scene. Here, I have a little reference here. Yeah, I have this. When the head hit the castle, the lip kind of came loose, and it kind of broke a little bit. So when you see him shake his head a bit, the jowls would move a bit. And it would cause it to look a bit weird. Some people like it that it makes him look a little bit more animalistic. Some people find it to be stupid. Either way, I think it kind of looks cool, if you ask me. It makes him look more animalistic in many ways. I'll get to that later on. So pretty much Godzilla's attacking the city, and well, because the fairy girls couldn't get Mothra's egg back, they had to go back home. So now they have to go get Mothra back. The main characters have to go get Mothra back to save Japan. But they also kind of refuse because, well, they didn't bring back the egg. But then they also kind of give a good point, like, listen, you're not God here. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, we made our own mistakes, but can we at least work together and at least help your fellow man? It's a good point. And so they basically say, okay, you know what? We'll send in our God. They send in Mothra, and well, Mothra comes in to fight Godzilla. And if you were to ask me how the effect of Mothra and Godzilla are done perfectly together, let me tell you this. Mothra's effect and the flying effect are so well done in this movie, you can say that it's a perfect effect. Godzilla's effects are just a guy in a suit. Sometimes it's a puppet, sometimes it's somehow stop motion. It's all of these done perfectly together to make this beautiful fighting scene. Yeah, and here's the thing. This is a Godzilla movie where Mothra fights Godzilla. This was before the whole Mothra X Godzilla or Godzilla X Mothra thing came out. That thing came out because of this movie. But we'll get to that later on when we get to it. So pretty much done. So Godzilla defeats Mothra and kills her off, but there's still Mothra's egg. Mothra's egg is still alive, so there could be babies coming out. And, well, the main villains of the story are dead now. Yep, they're dead. That's the end of their plot line, so that's the end of it. So what can the heroes do now? Well, there's a whole group of children and a teacher on an island, and Godzilla's heading over there. They can save him. But then Mothra's egg opens up and twin Mothras come out. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very honest with you. Every time when Mothra's egg opens, it makes me very happy. Just because, it's just the Mothra larvae are cute. Come on. And so basically they go to fight Godzilla while the main characters go and save the children and the teacher pretty much. And well, Mothra's twins basically do put up a big huge fight. Godzilla puts up even a bigger fight, and at one point Godzilla's fire breath basically deflates rocks. I am not joking about this. This is a real thing. If you watch the movie, you'll see rocks basically deflate immediately after they get hit by the atomic breath. I don't know what that was for. Maybe it was supposed to show him crumbling, but yeah, no. So pretty much the Mothra larvae basically cover Godzilla in the silky webs, and basically he falls into the ocean to basically wait till the next movie comes out. And well, the main characters wave off Mothra's twins and the Mothra larvae goodbye to the next movie. And that was Godzilla versus Mothra, or Mothra versus Godzilla, or if you were to go for it, Godzilla versus the Thing, which I will go over the American version soon. Now, to talk about this movie, you have to kind of talk about the behind the scenes. Originally, this movie was going to be a Frankenstein versus Godzilla movie, but because they really liked Mothra, they decided to put Mothra in and make Frankenstein's movie his own movie, but with Baragon. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Baragon at some point. Pardon me. To talk about the story, it's very much about greed. It's against greed because this was directed by Ishiro Honda. Ishiro Honda always liked putting in messages into his movies, and it makes sense because in the first movie he made a message about nuclear war and about war in general. You know, the usage of these weapons being used on people, how terrible it is, and even on creatures is even more terrible. It's even more relevant, and even in the first Mothra movie. Yeah, that's right, the first Mothra movie. I should probably review that next, but we're gonna get to that later on. So pretty much, the story of greed is the perfect match, and the downfall of greed is even greater in this movie. It's a great movie, actually. Mothra vs. Godzilla is a great film. I highly recommend it. It's 1960. Came from 1964, and well, it's a great movie. I'm going to talk about the suits for a moment here because I have this. This is as close to the movie accurate you're going to get here. Pretty movie accurate. I think it's not too accurate because the eye is here. But we're not. Well, but I'll release a video. There's going to be a video out later on about this. And so pretty much, I love the design of the Godzilla suit in the movie. The eyebrows basically being a little bit more shown. He has his two he has his two canines back in. Whereas in the King Kong versus Godzilla movie, he didn't have them. So hey, they brought him back for this movie. And just overall, it's just a very amazing suit. In fact, there's so many points in this movie where there's just amazing moments that were accidents. Like I've said before, the Nagoya castle being destroyed and him hitting the head and kind of taking the rubber out just a little bit, making it move just a little bit more, making it look like he's moving. His jowls are moving, is an amazing effect. An accident also is the fact where Godzilla's head catches on fire, and just a lot of accidents happen in these movies, and they're just good. Sometimes they're even memorable, and they're just really well done. And they're just really a good kind of match. You know what I mean? So yeah, of course, the suit for Godzilla was reused again in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, or Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, if you will. But of course, they had to remove the head because remember, the head was kind of damaged during the filming of Godzilla versus Mothra, Mothra versus Godzilla, and and they had to change it out, make a new head, and basically make the eyes move, be able to move and close, and the mouth kind of had a longer tongue, and it just didn't look too good, but it looked okay, for what it needed to be. Of course, they did use the Masugoji suit even after more. He was used in Ultra Q by Eiji Tsuburaya, and he was also in Ultraman and a whole bunch of other episodes. His last appearance was as Jiris, where they took another hat off of Godzilla's suit and put it right on the Masugoji body, and they just repainted it. And after they were done with it, they just kind of threw it away. Unfortunately, it's gone. Just like all the Godzilla suits, they're always getting rotting away and they're being thrown away. At least some people are trying to keep them alive a little bit, or at least keep them in a museum. And the Mothra prop is so well done. It's bigger than Godzilla's suit. If you watch the movie, they had to basically roll up the film. They had to make the film go quicker just so that way the Mothra prop can work. And there's a few moments where it accidentally makes Godzilla's falls kind of too quick and not too big, which is okay, but you can still see it. There's a few incidents like that. Overall, it's still a good movie. Do I highly recommend you should watch it? Oh, definitely. Definitely, you should. Definitely, you should. Yeah. Next time, I'm going to basically be doing a review on Godzilla, not Godzilla, but Mothra of the first Mothra movie that came out back in 1961. Such a great film. I highly recommend you watch that one, but I highly recommend you watch Godzilla versus Mothra. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about the American version. Now, in the American version of Godzilla versus Mothra, or Mothra versus Godzilla, it was changed by the name was changed to Godzilla versus the Thing because I don't know, they wanted to sell more tickets and basically making the monster of Mothra be a different monster kind of made a little bit of sense, but not at the exact same time. Um, so the you would think in American movies, you know that in dubbed movies back during the 50s and 60s that they would change it up just a bit so that way it'd be Americanized. Here they keep everything in. In fact, they add in scenes that wasn't even in the Japanese version. In fact, it was shot for the Japanese version, but they decided to cut it out in the Japanese version. There's a scene where Godzilla is basically roaming on the beach and American fighters are basically like American ships are basically attacking Godzilla on Japanese soil. And you know, basically cutting that out basically either means that they didn't want to show America basically attacking Japan or something like that. I don't know. Either way, nowadays it's kind of different now. Nowadays they don't mind showing it. I wish that they did add in that scene again, because that scene in the Japanese version would have probably looked even better just by the fact. I mean, there's so many moments where Godzilla's eyes kind of glow just a little bit in that scene. It's just a fantastic movie. Both versions are fantastic. It's just I don't in the American version they put in Asian accents. I'm like, why? I mean, I get it. You're trying to be. They're Asian, but you don't have to be. You could just say it with just your regular voice, you know, or change your voice up, you know, like a dub would, you know. But then again, hey, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I think it's a good movie. Watch the movie if you want to. Yeah. Mothra vs. Godzilla, 1964. Fantastic movie. Next up, Mothra, the original. I'm Jack Muth, the film guy. Don't believe it, look it up. And remember, Godzilla just literally rose out of the ground. Is that supposed to mean something, or maybe I'm just looking into it too much? I don't know. I'm out. Bye. Bye. Bye.